I mean, that level of kindness was definitely something that I saw a lot more of. Just because New York's one of the most resilient places, on earth. I don't have too many like. I was still in high school at that time, and outside of my boss being like the volunteer firefighter and knowing some people who lost relatives, I don't have like the explicit, stories of kindness per se, especially growing up about an hour away from New York City. But I just do remember that general like with New York, the attitude's always us against the world, and that is a time when I remember just the world hardcore, like really being with New York. Um, to the point that I mean, some people were even rooting for the Yankees, which exceptional circumstances happening, and it was to
Yeah.
no avail but yeah, man, like I do remember that time period being a lot of melancholy, but also like people really standing with New York a lot more. And to fast forward a little, like that was why like I knew people who moved to New York, were kind of transplants for work, and they did like they thought they were like doing the chic New York thing, living in insert gentrified Brooklyn neighborhood and like whatever they're doing. And then it's like COVID happens and oh, they're moving out and this person's leaving. And it's like, how is New York going to recover from this? But anyone from New York knew that, having something like 9/11 happen and bouncing back, and like anyone from New York knew that they were going to be fine and that New York was going to be fine. And like, I think that's why when everyone was like, oh, property values plummeting here or there or wherever, I'm like, it's going to be back, it's going to be back. Like New York is New York. And I think aside from the kindness, that those moments call to the toughness. And, people talk about the glitz of New York, but what they don't talk about enough is kind of the blue collar nature of New York and the people who really put that city on their back for years. Having both my parents are from the Bronx, you know what I mean, and like that, it's just tough, hardworking people have always and diverse people have always been at the core. That was one thing my dad, when he lived in LA for a bit, and he said he missed. He's like, you know what I missed? I missed like dirty water hot dogs and people with joggers that didn't match and were ripped and had yellow teeth. Like that's what I need. I need that. I wasn't getting that in LA as much then, and that's what I think of New York. I think of grit, toughness, resilience. And people actually being. Obviously, we have our opinions, but people are, I think, would be surprised at the kindness you can find in New York.